Hey there, it's Raven Scry here today to offer another crypto reading. This one's offered by Janesh, so thank you, Janesh. The three tokens that he's requested are ORDI, Joule, and Persistence. If you'd like one of these readings to share with the community, please do so by getting in touch with me via the About page of the channel. There is some now open for the early weeks of August. And also the Patreon has launched. Now I'm building up a bank of readings over there, and today we did the first Q&A, which was really exciting. So if you'd like to join us over there, please do so. But otherwise, enjoy the reading today. Blessings. Okay, so the first coin that you've selected is ORDI, Bitcoin ordinals. Okay, so as I connect to its energy, I'm seeing this kind of jagged, they're showing me a jagged black line that's moving up and down and up and down, in the way that, it's feeling within the energy. Now I'm just going to ask Spirit straight away, ORDI here. Now, as I connect further to this project, they're showing me a cross, and as I've said in previous readings, often there's crosses and ticks, positive, negative, pretty self-explanatory. But they're showing me a cross here. And just help me to understand this, Spirit, a little bit more context as to what's going on here with ORDI, and really the trajectory moving forward further into 2024. They're just giving me this cross energy, and it's like they're talking about some sort of stagnance. Now, although I feel like it's moving up and like I'm seeing it progress, there is still this sort of energy with it, though, that is pulling it back on some level. And I want to say, as I connect to that energy pulling it back, it's almost like it's got a sense that it's building. It's building. It's not quite getting to where it's moving toward yet. There is this build going on. And I want to say it's like it's building this kind of pressure would be how it feels. It's like as it moves, it's like it's trying to move up. And I'm seeing it move up, but there's something that pulls it back. There's something that pulls it back, keeps pulling it back. Although in that pullback, it's like there is this pressure building. And I want to say, it reminds me of something, like a band when it snaps. Eventually, the pressure gets it, and it starts to move. It starts to go. So I feel as though the energy around this that they're showing me shows this building energy that's taking longer than perhaps expected. And pulling down, and it almost like feels like it's not moving beyond this point, because it's not. It's like this pulling back energy, but it's leading to something more significant coming in here. And when I feel as though it breaks out of this pressure kind of level that they show, it feels like it starts to pick up speed quite quickly. There is also high volatility, though, around this. And the way they show it, it's like it breaks past this point, it moves up, boom, but then there's also this high volatility. I want to say I feel like this is mirroring the larger market. Spirit confirms that, yes, it is mirroring the large market. So it feels to be at a time that other things are really running as well, is how this comes through. Now, I'm just going to ask Spirit anything more to be shared around this project, because it's like I just feel this pulling back energy that's holding me back. It's like I want to move forward, but I'm still being restricted. And this is within this time. It feels like it does change as we move further along, but right now it's like it's like I'm trapped or I'm caught, like I can't quite continue on. And this can be, allow this pressure to move and to build up, because something more significant is coming here. Now, in regards to this cross that you showed, Spirit, because it's like they give me this, this at the start, this cross, And I feel as though it's timely in the way that they show this. It's like, because as it moves further into the future, there's more movements going on. I want to say there is some limitation here, though. Like, there is still some sort of restricted limitation. It's like it gets over barriers, but it's almost like it's somehow rehashing the way that it's moving through levels and through layers. So, it's having this stagnant building energy. It breaks through it, looks to be moving again, and does. Like, I want to say it, so many of these coins are going to move significantly, but high volatility here, and it almost feels like it gets to this point again that it's restricted in some way. So overall, Spirit, anything else to say around ORDI? I feel like I want a little bit more before we close this reading. They're just talking about stagnance here. It's got a big energy, it's got a powerful energy, but there is stagnance is what they're relating to. Okay, so I'm going to move along now to your next token, and that's Joule DeFi Kingdoms. Okay, so as I connect to Joule DeFi Kingdoms, they're showing me a lighter energy here, and the word that's coming to mind is powerhouse. And they're showing me this light, bouncy energy. It's like the energy of it is, how can I say, it's like easily movable, it feels like. Now, I don't know much about this project. It feels like it would be lower market cap in the way that it's moving. It's sort of flying around the place, in terms of higher volatility, higher moves up and pulls back is kind of how they show the energy. Now I ask Spirit, okay, what have you got to share around Joule? They're not giving me a great sense here either. A little bit more, Spirit. They're talking about pullbacks, and they're pulling the energy back here with this one, and they're wanting to say around Joule. They're pointing to later on, and I ask, well, is this to do with the gaming run? I feel as though perhaps it is. It's like in alignment with the larger sector of other connected projects, but because in the way that they show it, it's like at the moment it flops around a little bit within the energy, but they push me further down the timeline. And I want to say, is this into 2025, Spirit? Yeah, I feel as though it is into 2025, that it's going to have some movements. Now, I want to say, it doesn't feel that amazing to me in the way that the energy is. And, I can always be measuring different coins and tokens against other ones, and, so it paints this kind of whole picture for me. And but in the way that the energy feels, it's like, yes, it has moves, and in some way it feels delayed. It does have some reasonable moves, but there's some weakness in it. There's something that's just a little bit like, it's not like yes, it's kind of like, oh yeah, and, I don't really feel that that's a great energy to have around projects. So any last words, Spirit, around Joule? They're giving me, they're just showing me again some sort of resistance, some sort of stagnation. It's like there's pull downs, it might look to be moving, but it feels as though it's sort of still being pulled down. But as it moves into 2025, something perhaps is going on that's a bit more significant. With that one, I'm just going to leave that one where we are, and I'm going to move along now to your third request. Now, your third request is XPRT persistence. Okay, as I connecting to persistence. Asking Spirit a little bit more to understand about persistence, the project persistence, because there's been a lot that's been shared over the years around persistence. I'm recalling a reading that I did, it was quite some time ago, at least a year, and persistence was going through this energy of going on and on and on. And, these fish that were caught in the banks that were somehow dormant. It's like the water had gone from the banks of the river, and these fish had gone into this dormant place. So it was very much like sucked dry, and in it for a longer time. It was going to take longer to get any movement. Now, just question, Spirit, are we going to see anything significant here with XPRT persistence? Because I'm getting this feeling in my stomach that's a bit like, it's not feeling very good. Okay, but as I release that, and I'm just asking you, Spirit, what can you share around persistence? I'm hearing trouble, and I want to say, I feel like it's not really finding speed or momentum. And the way that it comes through, what more can you show, Spirit, around it? Because they're kind of stepping away from it, stepping back from this project. Any advice or guidance around persistence in 2024, Spirit? They show it trying to move, but it doesn't seem to have anything significant going on in the way that it moves. And as I've said so many times, so many of these tokens will move. It's just to varying degrees. And this one, I'm not seeing it doing anything that amazing here. I feel like, is this moving into 2025, Spirit? I feel as though as we move into 2025, there is something significant that's going on here with it, but it's still not quite showing up to the expectation of positive, movement and growth. And it almost looks like what's coming to mind is like Polkadot is having a moment, and this feels like it's taken its time, and it's like Polkadot's having a moment. XPRT persistence is kind of picking up into that zone and into that vibe. But I want to say it's still restricted there. It's not doing anything that amazing. In the way it comes through, and I want to say, it's almost like there is restriction here. And I talk about Polkadot, and it's like there's levels that it's reaching, and then it sort of pulls back. There's limitation. Again, there's this limitation. And is this overall, in the overall market that we're talking, this limitation? They're saying not necessarily. So regardless of Polkadot, I'll move away from that. Basically, persistence feels like, yes, it does start to move, but it's still being held back. I don't get a great sense here. Any last words, Spirit, on persistence moving forward? Struggle to maintain. It's interesting, I just look up at an 818. Struggling to maintain is what they're saying, and anything else with persistence. They're giving me this energy of it's not moving beyond certain points, not moving past certain areas. There's a level of weakness that I'm feeling here. And yes, it does have some sort of movement perhaps later on, but I don't know that it's significant enough to be that excited by it in the way that it's being shown to me right now. Okay, so before I close this reading, Spirit, anything else around persistence. They're showing me some sort of stagnant energy. So within it, like, just to round up these 3 tokens, there was a lot of resistance and not overly amazing energy that were coming through any of them. Out of these 3, though, Jewel had this thing of, like, it could be quite flighty in areas, and it could kind of do some decent moves, but then pull, like, quite wild. It could have wild energy around whatever it does. I gravitate to ORDI the most out of the 3 of those at this time. Okay, that's it for today. If you like one of these readings, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me via the About page of the channel and the email there, or come over to Patreon and have a look at all the readings that are getting uploaded there. Okay, have a great day. Blessings. Raven Scry signing off.